Hello, wonderful learners. Jim here. Thank you for joining me. Today it is about how you can improve your practicing. After being an educator for 30 years, I have learned a lot on how students practice, how they think, and learned a lot about myself. Today's video is for anybody that wants to improve their practicing. However, keep in mind I'm going to be thinking about adult learners and how I can help them. We're going to start off with distraction. That's right. When we have our practice time, you should block it off. So that is your time. So block it off so you have someone watching your children or what have you. Really important. The other part is to make sure that your room is organized for you. It doesn't have to be super clean, but it has to be ready to go. You have your books ready, you have your music, you have your pencils, and whatever else you need, your metronome, whatnot. Number 2, the warm-up. So I could spend a lot of time talking about warm-ups. One of the things I want to say is slow and soft will help the blood flow. We can talk about methods and warm-up books, but really it comes down to how you want to warm up and how you are motivated for your practice session. Your warm-up should be clearing your mind, making sure that you're ready to practice and have your brain devour every note, every phrase the best you can. For me personally, I warm up slow and soft, I focus on breathing, and then when I'm done, I do my certain little exercises that help me and wrist twirls. If you're working with a teacher, you can definitely talk to him or her about that. Number 3, the practice session. So the practice session is a big one. If you're starting your practice session feeling overwhelmed, then you need to step back and break the goals down. Make it simple goals. Maybe you're working on a piece, you're just having a hard time with the rhythm. Focus on just that. Or if you're having a technical issue, focus on just that. Improvement is measured in small increments. Sometimes when we're practicing, you might want to go ahead and zoom in on a phrase. If you're working on a phrase that's a bit tricky, just practice those 3 notes or what have you, really slow. That's why we call it individual practice, because it's for you to develop your skills. It doesn't happen overnight. We have to put the work in, but you have to make sure you're conscientious on your goals and how you're improving. All right, number 4 is a big one. We all have been there, especially if you've been practicing a lot, is dealing with frustration, dealing with practice frustration. You're approaching a piece, you just can't get it down. In the piano world, you're having coordination issues, and how do you deal with that? Well, the first thing is, for me, take a break. It could be just a 3-minute break, come back to it. Or if it's chronic, if you're having 4 or 5 practice sessions where you're just not getting stuff down, it's not a big deal. Take a break, move on, do something simple. Look at a piece, review a piece for motivation. Now, here is what I have learned from many students. If you're practicing a piece you really love, you just can't get it down, I have mentioned this before, work on an easier version so we can learn in a stepwise motion. Many students feel like they have failed. That's right, failed. You haven't failed, you need to learn correctly. Improvements measured in small increments, but if you keep taking steps back, you're not going to improve. Who are you in a race with? The piece will always be there. It's great to plateau and then increase little by little, opposed to just getting really frustrated. Number 5, doesn't have to be a big deal. Practicing and journaling. You could just write bullet points on what you're improving on, and also take out your phone, record yourself playing once a week and compare it. You'll most likely realize what you haven't focused on. You'll also realize, wow, I do sound better. I'm using the pedal better, or I'm playing with better dynamics. And that again is motivation. I've used the word motivation twice, which is really important with your development. Number 6. 6 is about just reaching out. You can play a recording for a friend, or you can go to a Reddit forum and see if there's other learners like you, or I have a Facebook group. You can go ahead and play a piece for other learners that are similar level. That's a really good bond because you guys can really enrich each other and grow together, which is what is really important because we spend a lot of time practicing. We want to grow, but we need to do it with people rooting you on. Number 7, I like to think of this as a very important tool. I personally like to and with playing something I know, or singing, or even listening to a piece of music. If you're feeling like, oh, this feels good, I've enjoyed this, you are motivated. And the motivation is everything. Motivation equals passion, and if you're passionate, you'll keep learning. If you keep beating yourself up, you won't be learning. Those are quick tips in a nutshell. Please leave a comment below on how you practice and how you go about frustration, or what are some of the tips that you have. Oh, on a side note, I almost forgot. I'm going to be releasing some important videos that are going to be interactive, where it'll help learners how to read better, as well as some of you might need the sight read. That's right, I'm going to have a PDF printouts and also the interactive where you can see the piano part playing, and that should help you grow. Remember, improvement is measured in small increments. Until next time, I wish everyone well. Happy music making. What do you mean, Junior?
Oh my god. I don't know what toy I want to get.
How about no toys, just some underwear?